Both Stephen A. Smith and Cam Newton are not doing Shedeur Sanders any favors as he prepares to take his first start for the Cleveland Browns this Sunday against my Vegas Raiders, which he'll probably have a field day because my Raiders are terrible. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about why I believe they aren't doing him any favors, and they're honestly just creating even more haters by the way that they're talking about and covering this whole Shedeur Sanders saga in Cleveland. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell because I upload all the time. Now, Shedeur Sanders is getting ready to take his first career start against the Las Vegas Raiders this weekend. I don't know if is it in Vegas or is it in Cleveland? I'm curious. Now, let me just check on that. Is that game in Vegas or is it in Cleveland? It will be in Vegas. So a game in Vegas against the Browns. Both teams 2-8. Both teams stink, but at least one team is starting a rookie quarterback that maybe can have some promise. Now his first debut wasn't very good. 4 for 16, 2 sacks. Just look, he's completed his first 2 passes and then went 2 for 14 the rest of the way. It just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. Albeit one guy dropped a pass in the end zone that could have been a touchdown to tie the game. Nonetheless, they lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's a really, really good team. But I'm here to talk about the guys covering Shedeur Sanders, like the media members, Stephen A. Smith, Cam Newton particularly, because these guys aren't doing Shedeur any favors. All they are doing is creating more haters, in my opinion, because they're stating things that I just don't think are factually true. Can Kevin Stefanski have been annoyed that they drafted Shedeur Sanders? Absolutely, especially when they took a quarterback in the 3rd round. Does it look like Kevin Stefanski wants Shedeur Sanders on his team? No. All of that can be true, but to sit here and act like Shedeur's preparation is solely on the coach is mind-boggling. And let's go ahead and play, and we're going to stop it and start it, how I do. The Stephen A. clip from a couple of days ago about his thoughts on the situation. Hold on, stop. His thoughts on the situation between Shedeur Sanders and what's taking place in Cleveland. Let me go ahead and make sure, because I know at times my microphone be cutting off. And so let me go ahead and make sure the volume's bumped up so you can hear. Let's take a listen to what Stephen A. believes is going on in Cleveland. Let's listen.
To be too quick for him, that he routinely held on to the ball. NFL scouts, aficionados said the game appeared to be too quick for him, that he routinely held on to the ball too long and was subjected to immense pressure, 11 quarterback pressures and 2 sacks, by the way. I don't know.
That was in his game against the Baltimore Ravens, which he did hold on to the ball too long. That was one of the biggest flaws in his game coming out of college, was the fact that he held on to the ball too long. That is valuable. Like, being behind the sticks is valuable in the NFL, and it reflected in his draft and how it plummeted. That matters to them. And I think him only playing for Deion mattered to them. That wasn't a good sign. And maybe some of his practice habits that they had heard about now that Cleveland's kind of dealing with matters to them being the people in the NFL, the NFL GMs, executives, all those stuff, coaches, all that stuff. Let's keep listening.
Know whether Shedeur Sanders is an NFL quarterback or not. And I don't blame anybody for assuming and surmising that he may not be. But how does he get 0 snaps with the first team? How a player is able to say they were unfamiliar with his snap count? He wasn't prepped at all.
Okay, this is what bothers me. He got 0 snaps because the guy in front of him was a rookie. And there's been countless backup quarterbacks with this. Chase Daniels, Kurt Warner, who's a Hall of Famer, but was once a backup. Just a bunch of them have come out and said, Dan Orlovsky on ESPN come out and says, hey, when you're a backup, you might go months, the whole year. He said, I've went years without taking reps with the first team, especially if the first team guy is a rookie. It's not like the first team guy is a 10-year vet, a 15-year vet like Joe Flacco. This first year, the guy in front of you, the first team guy, is a rookie. He needs every single rep because, once again, they took him two rounds above Shedeur Sanders. So, yes, it makes sense for the backup not to get any reps. Backups don't get reps a lot of times when there's veterans at quarterback. You damn sure ain't getting no reps when there's a rookie at the quarterback position, at the quarterback 2 position. Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta, like, it's too many NFL dudes that work up there at ESPN that know this stuff. One of them, who was a career backup, Dan Orlovsky, 12 years, for him to go on a platform and say this and act like he's not equipped to ask, hey, Dan, how does this normally work? Hey, coach, there's a bunch of coaches up there, Rick Ryan. How does it normally work with your backups? Like, so to go on airwaves and say this stuff just makes people angry and makes them angry at Shedeur because you're caping for him because he played bad. Don't cape for him. Just evaluate what you see on the screen. Evaluate what you see on the field. Don't put on the cape. Don't make up stuff. And if he was ill prepared, it must be his fault. This isn't college anymore. When a guy goes out there, when Johnny Manziel's ill prepared, who do we blame? We blame Johnny Manziel. When Jamarcus Russell is ill prepared, who do we blame? Jamarcus Russell. When Justin Fields goes out there each and every single week for the Jets and looks ill prepared, we don't blame the Jets coaching staff. We blame Justin effing Fields and says just he can't throw, he can't play. So don't give me this now. It's all the coach's fault. When any other time, especially at the quarterback position, especially for a fifth-round pick at the quarterback position, because that's the other thing. People have to get out of their mind that Shedeur is this first-round all-world talent. The NFL told you what they think of him. They took him in the fifth round, pick 144. And when you're a fifth round, pick 144 position, it ain't no working with the first team. If you get thrown in there, if you get an opportunity, you better take advantage of it. And Shedeur has an opportunity. But we're not going to sit here and continue to blame the coaching staff because Shedeur played bad. Let's keep listening.
You're a QB2. Your QB1 is an undersized dude, a hit away from getting concussed and taken out of the game. Kevin Stefanski is a two-time NFL Coach of the Year. He knows a thing.
Everybody is one hit away from getting concussed and taken out of the game. Every single player in the National Football League. So just because he's smaller, yes, he is technically could potentially be more susceptible to injuries, but Dillon Gabriel doesn't have some injury history coming out of college. He didn't miss games in college. I think he has one of the most starts ever in college football history.
About coaching football. How unprepared did Shedeur Sanders look? Suddenly he's not comprehending plays? Suddenly he doesn't know the playbook?
No, it's not suddenly. That's why they told us he was fourth string. They said in training camp he was having trouble picking up the playbook, learning the playbook. That's why they kept him out this far. That's why he never was able to move up the depth chart because of these same issues. It's not suddenly. That's the other thing. Guys are trying to rewrite history in real time. Like, we were all there. We all listened and watched, and it was the most talked about training camp ever. We saw that preseason game where he stunk up the joint. It's not suddenly. Once again, I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. I got the t-shirts. I got, you guys know, I still want the Raiders, him on the Raiders. But we can't act like everything is just suddenly. No, this stuff has been happening. And I'm not a big Kevin Stefanski guy. I told you I want Shedeur on the Raiders. I do think they're kind of mishandling him. But it's not suddenly, guys. Let's quit acting silly.
Look, suddenly he doesn't know what's going on. That's not the reputation that we've ever heard about Shedeur.
Well, it is. In the NFL, it is.
We've heard that he's very, very smart. Now, the knock against him is that he's smart about the why. He's not somebody that just does what he's told. He wants to know why. That's true. But
okay, let's see, and stuff like that. He's going to question and challenge the coaches. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Just stop it.
It smells. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it smells to me. I really viewed him as being set up to fail, or at least not prepared to succeed. Maybe set up to fail is too strong because it speaks to the intent of a malice nature by the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, which I would not do. I'm not going to impugn that man's integrity in any way like that. But can we at least say that he wasn't positioned to succeed? Can we say that? You got two different types of quarterbacks, and you do nothing to prepare him? It smells, y'all.
Why? What makes you think they did nothing to prepare him? Just because he didn't take first team reps? He's the backup fifth round quarterback. He's not going to take first team reps. I see, and to me, that's being disingenuous. There's too many smart people at ESPN for him to go on airwaves and say that stuff. It's too many that played in the NFL, that coached in the NFL, that was executives in the NFL, that work with the NFL, whether you're a TV person or whatnot, that's been around the NFL for decades. For him to go on television and say that, man, like Colin Cowherd isn't saying that. Nick Wright isn't saying that. Chris Broussard isn't saying that. Dan Orlovsky isn't saying that because they know that's not true. There's too many NFL people. Any other people on NFL CBS Countdown or Fox Countdown or wherever, they're not saying that because they know that's not true. That's being disingenuous. It's honestly being unfair to Kevin Stefanski. As much as I don't like him or I think he's handling this wrong or whatever, like his sole motive is to win football games. If Shedeur plays well and he wins games, he keeps his job. If Shedeur doesn't and they stink, then he loses his job and there's no guarantee that he'll get another one. So that was Stephen A's take. Let's go to the idiocy That was Cam Newton on this exact same topic, and him utter an idiotic take as well when it comes to the Shedeur Sanders. I mean, this topic gets people just to say the most outrageous, buffoonish, stupid stuff that they can utter. Let's listen to Cam.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I do not think Kevin Stefanski wants Shador Sanders to succeed in Cleveland. The reason being is, don't tell me what he said. Don't tell me what he's saying. I'm going off of actions. All right, let's go off actions. The actions is, if I'm Shedeur or if I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan, I would not want him to take the field, because that's going to consistently be the display we're going to see. It doesn't matter if it's Deshaun Watson.
If that is the consistent display that we're going to see, then Shedeur Sanders is not an NFL quarterback. If the consistent display for Shedeur is 4 for 16, 47 yards, a pick, and 2-3 sacks, he's not an NFL quarterback. If you believe that, no matter what the system is, if that is what he's going to display, he's not an NFL quarterback. Period. And if you think Kevin Stefanski is cool with that and just continue to lose games, then he's not an NFL coach either. But I don't think that's the case, because it won't just be Kevin Stefanski that will be getting fired. Andrew Berry will more likely get fired too. And guess what? I don't think Andrew Berry is in the business of trying to look for new jobs, because it's a lot harder for him as an executive to get a new job as opposed to Kevin Stefanski, who's a 2-time coach of the year. But it'll still be hard. So let's keep listening.
It doesn't matter if it's Shador Sanders. It doesn't matter if it's Dylan Gabriel. It doesn't matter if it's Dan Orlovsky. It doesn't matter if it's Cam Newton. You need help in Cleveland, where you have a quarterback that's still making $46 million on your roster, and he's not healthy. That impacts the talent that's around him. They are not a good team. Right. But this is the thing that really irks me the most, is because he doesn't get any reps. Circa 2015, circa when Cam Newton was the MVP, circa when, hey, my backup for majority of my career was probably the biggest blessing of my career to have a veteran in Derek Anderson. Ron Rivera still knew, we're one play away, kid, from you not being.
Once again, he just said circa Cam Newton 2015 MVP. I don't think the Cam Newton 2015 MVP needed to get every single one rep. He was the MVP of the league. And Cam Newton played a reckless style of football. I loved it. We all loved it. But Ron Rivera understood, like, hey, if I'm going to run my quarterback like this, there's chances he's taking a lot more chances of getting hit. And so therefore I do need to get my backup extra prepared. One, my quarterback's the league MVP. And two, because he gets hit a lot. He gets hit a whole lot. And it's not just concussions, but you can have a messed up finger, toe, ankle, wrist, whatever. Chest, contusion, ribs, whatever. He's a quarterback. He's a guy that gets hit a lot, and he's a big dude. And so he takes on multiple people hitting him. And so, yes, my backup needs to be more prepared than maybe a Dylan Gabriel, who is half the size of Cam Newton and plays nothing like how Cam Newton played. Let's keep listening.
Available. We would have anywhere from 6 to 12 reps in every single practice that allowed Derek to still have an ability to say, hey,
you weren't a rookie. You weren't a rookie, and you played a different style of football.
If it goes, how it goes, not great.
You played a different style of football. You weren't a rookie, and that was a different era. That was also a different era where guys could hit you more. And so therefore, yeah, you would more likely give the MVP quarterback less first team, who takes a lot of hits, less first team reps, and give your backup more reps, because your quarterback's an MVP and he gets hit a lot. And it's a different era of football. Let's keep listening.
Someone say, well, Cam, you played the position and you're different. Well, what is that to say about Brock Purdy? Well, what is that to say about any other quarterback that's here? You plan for the what ifs in this league. You don't know if you're going to have your quarterback. What about Joe Burrow? So for him to not have any reps, for him to have this to be his first time that he's taking first team reps where individuals don't even know your snap count or your cadence, that is like, no, bro, what are we doing here? Like, you don't control the team's whole overall existence by not allowing individuals to get better. As a head coach, you are responsible.
If he's not getting better, that's on him. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Y'all making too many excuses. That's my whole thing. It's not that some of this stuff can't be right, because them not knowing his cadence is weird. I've said that already. Them not knowing his cadence, that was very strange. But to act as if, like, you guys are coddling Shedeur too much. He doesn't need to be coddled. He's in the effing NFL. I know all you guys are friends with Deion Sanders. I know all you guys want to be buddy with Prime, or are buddy with Prime. But Shedeur is an NFL effing quarterback. What other quarterbacks do we talk about like this? Especially 5th round picks. Who else do we talk about like this? All this coddling. You don't coddle NFL quarterbacks, man. I'm sorry. It just drives me crazy. Let's keep listening.
For these things, you're responsible for how your team operates and executes, and you also are responsible for each player's development. If you're not developing players, no matter if it's a starter, a free agent, or a second round player, or third round, you're not doing your job. Kevin Stefanski, bro, that's unacceptable. And I'm going to tell you that on national TV. That's a fileable offense for so many other reasons because, like, what are we doing? You're not developing the guys right, and you're putting all your eggs in Dylan.
All right, okay. We got to get done with that because he was just, boy, Cam get to talking, he get to talking, doing all that. Just, I don't know, man. It's silly to me. It is silly. This whole conversation is silly. But, Shedeur can shut it all up and have everybody beating their chest, pounding their chest if he goes out there and balls against my lowly, woolly Raiders. As terrible as we are. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I don't believe Cam Newton, Shedeur Sanders. Because here's the thing. If he goes out there and stinks it up, these comments are going to recirculate. People are going to have a victory lap. I think they're actually creating more haters for Shedeur because of the way that they coddle him and talk about him on national television. People are showing resentment towards that. People on the field are showing resentment. You saw Cal Hamilton. First thing he did when he got the sack, throw the wrist up. A bunch of all the Ravens, throw the wrist up. Like, I think they're just creating more haters and a bigger target on his back, and they're not helping him as opposed to the way that they think they are. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I don't believe Stephen A. Smith, Cam Newton, and none of these guys are helping Shedeur Sanders. I think they're doing more harm than help. And if he plays bad against the Raiders, it is going to be very, very tough for him to come back from. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because I upload all the time. And I will see you guys next time.